Tupac Shakur, a legend in the rap music world, passed away in a shocking assassination on the night of September 6, 1996. At just 25 years old, he was shot on the streets of Las Vegas after leaving the boxing match between Mike Tyson and Bruce Halpin. Tupac's death not only stirred the rap community, but also left a deep mark on popular culture. Although the case has seen new developments, the truth about his death has yet to be revealed, and the theories surrounding it continue to spark debate. If you want to learn more about Tupac's mysterious death and the theories surrounding the case, don't forget to share the video, hit like, and subscribe to stay updated with the latest information. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and let's discuss one of the most famous cases in music history. At 7:03 p.m., Las Vegas time, Tupac Shakur, the rapper and actor, passed away at the age of 25. The rap star had just left the boxing match between Mike Tyson and Bruce Halpin when he was shot 4 times in a car driven by Marion "Suge" Knight, the head of Death Row Records. Tupac's murder remains one of the most shocking cases in history, leaving the rap industry and the world in disbelief. At just 25, Tupac was gunned down in the middle of a Las Vegas street. His death not only shocked the rap community, but also echoed worldwide, and to this day, the case remains unsolved despite recent developments. Although someone was arrested in the case in the fall of 2023, the full truth may never be known, as even those who may know exactly what happened during Tupac's attack on September 6, 1996, remain silent. Tupac Shakur not only faced enemies within the rap industry, but also from the intense East Coast-West Coast gang rivalry in the United States. Part of this conflict involved clashes with other musicians within the industry. Tupac's death was the result of long-standing tensions between artists and gangs within the rap business, an industry fraught with controversy and hardship. These conflicts were not just personal issues but reflected complex political and social confrontations, especially as gangs and rival groups appeared not only in real life, but also in the music itself. Tupac Amaru Shakur, a name with profound meaning, was named after the famous Inca chief from South America, Tupac Amaru, a name symbolizing an intelligent and profound warrior. His mother, Afeni Shakur, gave him this name with the hope that he would grow up to be a wise and powerful warrior in life. Born on June 16, 1971, Tupac grew up in a challenging environment. He and his half-sister were raised by their single mother. Afeni, Tupac's mother, was a member of the Black Panther Party, advocating for the rights of the black community during the movement's peak. Both Tupac's stepfather and mother were imprisoned, which had a significant impact on his childhood and shaped his worldview. Despite growing up in poverty, Tupac had a unique childhood in Baltimore, which he described as the happiest time of his life. Here, he was exposed to a variety of artistic fields, including poetry, ballet, theater, and especially rap music. His high school placed a special emphasis on the arts, giving Tupac the opportunity to showcase his creativity. At the age of 17, Tupac shared his childhood experience for the first time in an interview, revealing that while he didn't always feel at ease, he loved everything he went through and the lessons he learned from it. Despite a challenging childhood, Tupac found his true passion in rap music. The struggles within his family and life taught him how to rise up and express himself through music. This passion became not just a form of entertainment, but a vital part of his life. With a combination of talent and passion, Tupac was able to break into the music industry, where he not only made a name for himself, but also became an icon of rap music and culture. Tupac Shakur once shared that, if you grow up in happiness. It's easy to imagine life as a fairy tale, but his life was far from that. Although he received gifts during holidays in his childhood, it was hard to prepare for the challenges outside when you've never experienced hardship. Tupac grew up in a family with financial struggles and witnessed his mother fight through life's difficulties. Despite his tough childhood, Tupac cherished it because those hardships helped him grow and gave him a deeper understanding of life. In 1988, Tupac's family moved from Baltimore to San Francisco, marking a turning point in his life. His time to express himself artistically in Baltimore had come to an end. The family faced harsh realities, and Tupac no longer saw a path to pursue his dream of attending college. Despite his desire to study, Tupac struggled with a lack of financial resources. His family lived in poverty, and at that time, his mother was battling a drug addiction. Their relationship began to suffer, and Tupac, despite his anger at his mother's addiction, started making money through drug dealing. During this time, Tupac's life became even more difficult. However, he refused to give up. Despite the tough circumstances at home, he was determined to find another way. He turned to music, fueled by his deep passion for rap. Music became his outlet for self-expression, and gradually, he built connections within the industry. Tupac began performing at local clubs, and he stood out on stage, capturing attention with his talent and unique charisma. In 1991, Tupac joined the rap group Digital Underground as a backup dancer. Later, he was given the opportunity to rap on some of the group's tracks, slowly gaining attention. This marked a turning point that would launch Tupac as a standout rapper. He signed with Interscope Records and released his debut album in 1991, which was a huge success, catapulting him into the spotlight. This success wasn't just due to his music, but also his appearances in films. Tupac became more than just an artist. He evolved into a major brand, shaping pop culture in profound ways. Tupac is considered one of the greatest rappers of all time. He not only reflected societal issues in his lyrics, but also had a clear political stance. His life is a testament to resilience, overcoming adversity to achieve success. Despite constantly facing challenges from his circumstances and social issues, Tupac used his music to deliver powerful messages about life, community, and the rights of Black people. Tupac Shakur was not just a music icon, but also a vocal advocate for social issues, particularly within the Black community and among young rap fans. He captured the spirit of his time and made his stance clear in his songs, delivering powerful messages about injustice and racial discrimination. Tupac's music became a voice of resistance against social issues and inequality, forging a strong connection with the community. While some politicians, like Vice President Dan Quayle, failed to understand or relate to Tupac's art, these controversies only fueled his success. Despite the criticism, nearly all rap artists today draw inspiration from Tupac, whether consciously or not. Tupac was not only known for his career, but also for his close relationship with his mother, Afeni Shakur. After years of hardship, Tupac's mother successfully overcame her drug addiction, and the bond between them grew stronger. By the time Tupac was in his 20s, he not only had a successful music career, but also a tight-knit family. In 1996, he got engaged to his girlfriend, Kidada, marking a new chapter in his personal life. However, success was not everything for Tupac. He continued to face issues related to violence, something he had known since childhood. In 1992, a brawl broke out during a signing event at a festival. Tupac pulled out a gun but then dropped it to the ground. A stray bullet accidentally fired and struck a 6-year-old boy, leading to the child's death. Although Tupac was not directly responsible for the boy's death, he was still implicated and faced numerous lawsuits as a result. In 1993, Tupac was arrested for shooting at 2 undercover police officers. The testimonies regarding the incident were conflicting, with some claiming Tupac acted in self-defense, while others asserted that he was the first to draw his weapon. In 1994, Tupac was injured in a shooting at Quad Studios in New York, where he was shot 5 times. After surgery, he survived, but this incident became one of the factors contributing to the instability in his life. Before his assassination, Tupac had major conflicts with his colleague, the notorious Biggie Smalls. Tupac and Biggie were once friends, but their relationship soured after Tupac was attacked and severely injured in 1994. Tupac believed Biggie was one of the masterminds behind the shooting. The tension between them escalated when Tupac released songs that openly criticized Biggie. In 1995, Tupac was sentenced to prison for a sexual assault charge, but he was released on bail with a large bond paid by Shakur Knight, the head of Death Row Records. On the evening of September 7, 1996, Tupac and Shakur Knight attended the boxing match between Mike Tyson and Bruce Halpin at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. After the fight, a brawl broke out in the building's lobby between Tupac and members of the Crips gang. A few minutes later, Tupac and Shakur Knight left the MGM Grand in their car, only to be shot at by a group of people from a white Cadillac. Tupac was hit by 4 bullets and seriously injured, while Shakur Knight only sustained minor injuries. After being rushed to the hospital, Tupac underwent several emergency surgeries, but his condition remained critical. Although he was conscious for a brief period, on September 13, 1996, Tupac Shakur passed away due to respiratory failure and cardiac arrest at the age of 25. His death shocked the world, not only the hip-hop community, but also many people around the globe. Although the case took place long ago, the mysteries surrounding Tupac's death remain unsolved. Conspiracy theories about his death continue to emerge, and the case remains one of the biggest cultural phenomena. Theories about the killer, the relationship between Tupac and Biggie, along with allegations of gang involvement, have remained hotly debated topics for years. Though he has passed away, Tupac continues to live on in the hearts of his fans. His albums are still released and streamed millions of times, with books and documentaries about him constantly being produced. Although no one has been convicted for Tupac's murder, his career and influence on music and society continue to resonate to this day. On the evening of September 7, 1996, Las Vegas witnessed a legendary boxing match between Mike Tyson and Bruce Halpin at the MGM Grand. Tupac Shakur was in the audience, part of a crowd not only excited for Tyson, but also for him. During the afternoon, Tupac spent his time at a casino and had a big win. The Tyson-Halpin fight didn't last long, with Tyson claiming victory in just 109 seconds at 8:30 p.m. After the fight, guests began to leave the MGM Grand, and Tupac along with Shakur Knight were preparing to head out. However, before they could exit the building, a brawl broke out around 8:50 p.m. Tupac and Shakur Knight, along with their group, encountered members of the Southside Compton Crips right in the lobby of the MGM Grand. The altercation is believed to have stemmed from Shakur Knight's association with a rival gang, the Bloods, as Crips and Bloods were longtime enemies. A man in the crowd told Tupac that Orlando Anderson, a member of the Crips, had stolen a chain from one of Tupac's entourage, and that chain was linked to his record label, Death Row Records. This dispute led to a violent confrontation between Tupac and Orlando Anderson, with both sides getting involved in the clash. After the brawl, Tupac and Shakur Knight got in their car and drove back to the hotel where Tupac was staying with his girlfriend and cousin. While changing clothes, Tupac excitedly recounted the altercation with the Crips, claiming he fought like Mike Tyson in the boxing ring. The two of them then attended a party at the 662 Club, a venue owned by Shakur Knight. Tupac was scheduled to perform there that night, and although his bodyguard wanted to accompany him, he was stopped by Shakur Knight's guests. Tupac instructed his bodyguard to follow him in a separate car. Tupac and Shakur Knight continued their private conversation in the car, where Tupac was reportedly considering leaving Death Row Records, despite having made a deal with Shakur Knight to help him get out of jail. At 11:00 p.m., Shakur Knight was stopped by a police checkpoint due to loud music coming from the car and the absence of a license plate. However, after a brief inspection, Shakur Knight was allowed to continue driving. Just a few minutes later, the tragic event occurred, leading to one of the most infamous murders in recent history. Around 11:15 p.m., as Tupac and Shakur Knight were driving through the streets of Las Vegas, their car stopped at a red light on Flamingo Road. A white Cadillac pulled up next to them, and someone in the Cadillac opened fire on Tupac and Shakur Knight. A total of 13 shots were fired at the car, with 4 bullets hitting Tupac. 2 bullets struck his chest, while Shakur Knight was lightly injured by shrapnel. The attack lasted only a few seconds, and the Cadillac quickly sped away. Immediately after the shooting, Shakur Knight panicked and turned the car around, heading west on Eno Road, stopping at Harm Street. Police and first responders arrived at the scene by 11:20 p.m. One of the officers recalled that when he opened the car door, Tupac, severely wounded and collapsed on the ground, was still conscious but in critical condition. The officer attempted to ask Tupac who had shot him, but Tupac could only manage to respond with, "Fuck you," before losing consciousness. Tupac was immediately rushed to the hospital and underwent emergency surgery. Despite the doctor's best efforts to save him, Tupac's condition remained extremely critical. He suffered severe injuries and required constant monitoring. However, just a few days later, on September 13, 1996, Tupac Shakur passed away from respiratory failure and cardiac arrest at the age of 25. On the afternoon of September 8th, Tupac underwent a second surgery. Meanwhile, Shakur Knight was able to leave the hospital with minor injuries. In contrast, Tupac remained in critical condition and was placed in a medically induced coma. The doctors estimated he had a 50-50 chance of survival, a worrying prognosis for the rap star. After Tupac was rushed to the hospital in critical condition, his close family and friends never left his bedside, keeping a constant vigil, fearing that someone might enter and cause him further harm. The police were eager to question Shakur Knight, who had been with Tupac, but Knight was avoiding investigators. Sergeant Kevin Manning of Las Vegas expressed frustration with the investigation, criticizing Knight and his entourage for their lack of cooperation. These individuals were present at the scene the night of the attack, and the police suspected gang involvement with the Blood Street Gang. After the shooting, 4 men from Shakur's group were handcuffed, but were later released. Just 5 days after Tupac's shooting, a member of Tupac's entourage, Yaki Gaddafi, was shot and killed while sitting in a car. Rumors spread that this murder might have been an act of retaliation for the attack on Tupac. Police and investigators continued to search for information, but the truth behind Gaddafi's death remains unclear. Yaki Gaddafi, Tupac's close friend and cousin, may have witnessed the attack on Tupac and even seen the shooter, but he never spoke to the police. By November 1996, Gaddafi was killed, but the exact circumstances of his death remain a mystery. Nearly 6 months after Tupac's death, in March 1997, Tupac's biggest rival, Biggie Smalls, was shot and killed in Los Angeles. This murder also remains unsolved, and to this day, it remains one of the biggest mysteries in music history. Legends and speculations about a possible connection between Tupac's and Biggie's deaths still persist, with many believing that the murders of both artists could be linked. Conspiracy theories surrounding the truth behind these two deaths continue to be a topic of debate. Although Tupac Shakur has passed away, he will never be forgotten. On the contrary, his tragic death has only amplified his influence on popular culture. Tupac's music continues to be streamed millions of times, and documentaries and books about his life and career are continuously being produced. The media still relentlessly asks the question, who killed Tupac? In fact, in 2018, a Netflix series reignited interest and speculation about the murders of both Tupac and Biggie. This case remains one of the biggest cultural phenomena, and to this day, the theories surrounding it remain unsolved. If you're intrigued by the story of Tupac Shakur and the mystery surrounding his death, don't forget to share this video with your friends, hit like, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any exciting upcoming videos. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and let's discuss the theories surrounding this case together. Tupac's murder remains one of the unanswered questions after 27 years. Some believe that the delay in solving the case is linked to social factors, particularly the systemic injustice in the legal system towards the black community. The theories surrounding the case, including connections between gangs, conflicts within the rap industry, and other factors, continue to be debated. Ultimately, despite changes in investigations, the truth behind Tupac's death remains uncovered. Over the years, conspiracy theories surrounding Tupac's death have emerged, particularly the rumors suggesting that he is still alive. One of the individuals continuing to push this theory is Shakur Knight's son, who was with Tupac when he was shot. In 2019, he began sharing stories on Instagram, implying that the legendary rapper is still alive and making new music. These actions are clearly seen as a publicity stunt aimed at attracting attention and building a name in the music industry. Additionally, there have been reports of sightings of Tupac in various places after his death, further fueling these theories and rumors. The investigation into Tupac's death has continued to face numerous difficulties. The Las Vegas and Los Angeles police have been repeatedly criticized for their inefficiency in handling the case. Meanwhile, a 2017 report revealed that the gun used to shoot Tupac was found in a backyard in Compton, Los Angeles, in 1998. However, no one in the police force could confirm the exact location of the weapon, even though it was reported that a local resident had handed the gun over to the local police station. It wasn't until 2006 that an officer realized the address where the weapon was found matched the home of the girlfriend of a member of the Compton Crips gang, which had connections to Tupac. After the weapon was tested and confirmed to be the one used to kill Tupac, it was handed over to the Las Vegas police for further investigation. However, Authorities there did not believe the gun was the murder weapon. This only added to the ambiguity surrounding the case, as neither the Las Vegas nor Los Angeles police claimed ownership of the weapon. The case quickly stalled, and the murder weapon was considered lost. The lack of transparency in the investigation and conflicting information only deepened the mystery surrounding Tupac's death. One major reason the case remains unsolved to this day is the socially tense environment of the 1990s. African American communities, particularly within the rap industry, were facing violence and a lack of cooperation from the police. Many rappers addressed these issues in their songs, expressing anger and frustration with the legal system and law enforcement, especially in impoverished areas. The street code, followed by many rappers and members of this community, may have created a barrier preventing witnesses and investigators from cooperating, making the Tupac case even more complex and difficult to resolve. Although Tupac's murder remains unsolved, the case continues to be the subject of conspiracy theories and debate. While the public and investigators search for answers, the silence from those who may know the truth only deepens the mystery. Theories about the killer and the reasons behind Tupac's murder persist to this day. The biggest question remains: who really killed Tupac Shakur? In 1997, Orlando Anderson, who was believed to be involved in Tupac's death, filed a lawsuit against Tupac's family. Anderson sought compensation, claiming that the altercation between him and Tupac at the MGM Grand had caused him harm, leading to pain and suffering. This became a turning point in the investigation, as Tupac's mother, Afeni Shakur, filed a lawsuit against Orlando Anderson for the death of her son. She claimed that Anderson was the one who killed Tupac. Some police officers also shared this viewpoint, believing that Anderson was the killer and that the murder could have been an act of retaliation for the conflict between Tupac and Anderson at the casino. The relationship between Orlando Anderson and gangs, particularly the Compton Crips, raised significant doubts in this case. There were reports suggesting that the gun used to kill Tupac might be linked to members of this gang. One report pointed out that the weapon found after the murder matched a gun that Anderson was associated with. Despite this, Anderson always denied involvement in Tupac's killing. In a later interview, when asked if he was the one who killed Tupac, Anderson firmly denied it and provided no further information. However, Anderson didn't live long enough to prove his innocence. Just 2 years after Tupac's murder, Orlando Anderson was shot and killed in a gang-related shootout in Los Angeles on May 29, 1998. Anderson's death did not bring any clarity to Tupac's case, but instead fueled more speculation surrounding the murder. Anderson continued to deny his involvement in Tupac's death until his own death, and the questions about his potential connection to the case remain unresolved. Tupac's murder remains one of the most mysterious and controversial cases in music history. The biggest question the public and investigators continue to search for an answer to is, who really killed Tupac Shakur? Was Orlando Anderson the culprit, as many suspect? Or is there a larger conspiracy behind the death of this legendary rapper? These theories continue to leave people wondering, especially after Anderson's tragic death and the strange events surrounding the case. In the mid-90s, Tupac Shakur and the notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls, were two of the biggest stars in the rap world, but they became fierce rivals, especially as they represented different record labels. Tupac was associated with Death Row Records on the West Coast, while Biggie was a star at Bad Boy Records on the East Coast. This rivalry wasn't just about music. It became part of a larger conflict between the East Coast and West Coast rap communities in the United States. Tupac and Biggie's relationship was initially quite friendly. Tupac had even helped Biggie get his start in the music industry. However, their bond fractured after an attack on Tupac in 1994. Following the incident, Tupac believed that Biggie and Puff Daddy, the mastermind behind Bad Boy Records, had a role in the attempt on his life. This fueled a deep animosity between the two rappers, partly expressed through diss tracks Tupac released, targeting Biggie and those associated with him. A key factor in this conflict was the rivalry between Suge Knight, the head of Death Row Records, and Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, the founder of Bad Boy Records. As Biggie gained prominence with his debut album, Puff Daddy's influence in the industry grew, which made Suge Knight feel threatened. The tension between these two moguls wasn't just limited to music, it also played out in public confrontations. Suge Knight frequently attacked Puff Daddy, and their relationship became increasingly strained. After one of their confrontations, Suge Knight's bodyguard was killed, and Suge Knight publicly accused Puff Daddy of ordering the murder. However, the case remains unresolved. As for Diddy, despite the many rumors surrounding the Tupac case, there is no solid evidence proving his involvement in Tupac's death. Tupac's death in 1996 and Biggie's death in 1997 set off a tragic chain of events in the rap industry. Both cases remain unsolved, with many theories and speculations surrounding the events. Some believe that the East Coast-West Coast rivalry, as well as the competition between Death Row and Bad Boy, were the main factors that led to these murders. In the final days of his life, Tupac continued to accuse Biggie and Puff Daddy of being potentially involved in his death. This fueled many theories suggesting that Biggie was Tupac's target in the ongoing music and street war between rival gangs. One of the key figures in this rivalry was Puff Daddy, who many believe could have been one of the masterminds behind Tupac's murder. As Biggie's mentor, Puff Daddy would have had a vested interest in eliminating a powerful rival like Tupac. Suge Knight, not only associated with Death Row Records, but also known for his public attacks against Puff Daddy, helped create an environment of tension and instability within the music industry. Despite numerous theories and speculations surrounding Tupac's murder, the truth behind those responsible for his death remains an unsolved mystery. The question, "Who killed Tupac?" continues to haunt the public and the media to this day. The story of Tupac Shakur's death remains one of the greatest mysteries in the music industry, still full of unresolved theories. Over the years, there has been a wealth of conflicting information and theories about the perpetrators, potential individuals involved, and the conspiracies surrounding Tupac's murder. One popular theory is that P. Diddy, also known as Puff Daddy, may have paid members of the Crips gang to carry out Tupac's murder. According to this theory, after a fight at a casino between Tupac and Orlando Anderson, P. Diddy allegedly put a bounty on the head of anyone from the rival record label. However, this is just a rumor, and P. Diddy has remained silent when questioned about it. He neither confirmed nor denied the accusations. Another theory suggests that Suge Knight, the head of Death Row Records, may have ordered Tupac's murder. According to this theory, Suge Knight owed Tupac a large sum of money, and the killing could have been a way to avoid paying the debt. Their relationship had soured in the months leading up to Tupac's death. Notably, despite being shot alongside Tupac, Suge Knight was not seriously injured. and there are no hospital or police records confirming any of his injuries. Orlando Anderson, a member of the Crips gang, is one of the main suspects in Tupac's murder. After the altercation at the casino, many believe Anderson carried out the shooting as revenge for a stolen necklace from a member of Death Row Records. A man named Keffe D. Dwayne Davis, who claimed to have been in the car when the shots were fired at Tupac, stated that his nephew, Orlando Anderson, was the one who shot Tupac. Keffe D. recounted that, according to his account, the gunshots came from the back of the car, where Orlando Anderson was sitting. Orlando Anderson was killed in 1998 during a gang shootout in Los Angeles. Although Anderson always denied any involvement in Tupac's death, his own murder fueled speculation that Tupac's killing could have been an act of revenge for what happened at the casino. After Anderson's death, some believed he was killed to prevent him from revealing details about Tupac's murder. Despite the many suspicions and theories surrounding Tupac's death, the case remains unsolved. Police and those involved still disagree on what truly happened on the night of September 7, 1996. The main reason the investigation has stalled is the lack of cooperation from witnesses and the silence of those involved. However, with new information from Keffe D. in 2018 and his book Compton Street Legend, many hope the case will see new developments. Tupac Shakur's death remains a major unsolved mystery. Investigations continue, with new witnesses and theories emerging. However, one thing is clear: Tupac will never be forgotten. He remains a music icon, and his death has become a significant part of pop culture. Tupac's music is still beloved, streaming millions of times, and documentaries, books, and articles continue to shed light on his life and death. The question, "Who killed Tupac?" remains unanswered and will undoubtedly fuel debates for years to come. Davis was arrested in September 2023 after police searched his wife's home and seized multiple electronic devices, including computers and hard drives containing information related to Tupac's murder. While Davis's arrest made headlines, many still believe that Keffe D may not be the only perpetrator. The police continue to investigate, and several theories suggest that P. Diddy could have ordered Tupac's murder by paying members of the Crips gang. Some, including rapper 50 Cent, have hinted that P. Diddy might be involved in Tupac's murder. 50 Cent posted Tupac's final photo with Suge Knight on Instagram, with a sarcastic caption suggesting that P. Diddy could be behind the assassination. This theory isn't new. In 2008, Keffe D also claimed that P. Diddy had ordered him to kill both Tupac and Suge Knight, though there is no clear evidence to support this. Suge Knight, the head of Death Row Records, is also a figure believed to be possibly involved in Tupac's murder. Knight had been linked to numerous cases and violence in the music industry. However, after Tupac's assassination, Knight strangely survived without serious injuries, which further complicated the investigation. From prison, Suge Knight made puzzling statements, asserting that he had nothing bad to say about Orlando Anderson, whom he believed was not the one who shot Tupac. Orlando Anderson, the prime suspect, was killed in a gang shootout in Los Angeles in 1998. However, just before his death, Anderson had been sued over the altercation with Tupac at the MGM Grand, and many believe the shooting of Tupac could have been an act of revenge for that dispute. With Keffe D's arrest, the Tupac murder case is seeing new developments. Despite numerous statements from people in the industry, there is no concrete evidence to pinpoint exactly who masterminded the killing. Investigators continue to search for connections, and there is hope that the truth will be revealed in the near future. Despite conflicting theories, Tupac's death remains a major unsolved mystery. Tupac Shakur's murder remains one of the most shocking cases in music history and pop culture. Despite numerous theories and speculations, the truth remains a mystery, leaving the community, his loved ones, and fans still waiting for an official resolution. Tupac's death, even though it occurred years ago, continues to captivate attention, with many theories suggesting that P. Diddy, Suge Knight, or gang members may have been involved in the killing. This story makes many reflect on what truly happened on the night of September 7, 1996, and the unanswered mysteries. Despite the conspiracy theories and speculations, the case remains unresolved, and it may take years to reach a conclusion. Tupac, a music and cultural icon, will never be forgotten. Though he left us at the age of 25, his music and influence continue to live on in the hearts of his fans. The question of the truth behind his death still lingers, and perhaps, until the remaining witnesses are ready to speak the truth, this case will remain an unsolved story. If you have any ideas or theories about Tupac's murder, feel free to share them in the comments. Would you like more videos about suspicious or unsolved celebrity deaths? And who do you think is truly behind Tupac's death? Let us know your thoughts. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any exciting videos. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Have a great day.